Thank you for calling on me. To me, when you speak of vibrational energies, I think of frequencies. And is that what we're talking about here? When my vibrations are in tune with bringing money my way, is it the same frequency as someone else? In other words, does money have its own vibration, and all of us, when we're trying to manifest money, are on that same vibrational energy, or does money to me have a different vibration than it does for someone else?
Well, money, or any subject in and of itself, has a frequency that goes all the way from the abundance of it to the absence of it. Okay. And even the word abundance is
subjective.
So it is unique. It is unique in the sense that you compete with no one for your money.
Right.
Because your experience causes you to offer your rocket of desire, and if there are trillions of people offering rockets of desire about money, the economy just expands. Right. What is interesting about economy is that billions of people and what they are living causes the asking, which causes the expansion of the economy. But then only those that are a vibrational match to it are the receivers of it. So the imbalance in the haves and have-nots comes from the alignment with the energy. But there are a lot of people that are very wealthy that are benefiting by the asking of those who are not yet allowing anything into their experience. And that's why there's so much resentment by the have-nots. They can somehow feel that some of that should have been theirs, and it very well should have been, but they've got to find a way to let it in. When you're a vibrational match to abundance, it will find its way to you through the crack of least resistance. And so we think that it's not so much about the vibration of money that is the variable, it's the crack of least resistances that are the variables. So your allowing is the variable.
Allowing it to come in.
More than anything. How often I think about it in an attitude of appreciation, how much I worry about it, how much I worry about people who don't have it. In other words, it's the purifying or the clarifying of the way you feel about money that is the big distinction about how fast it comes and how much comes when it comes. Mm-hmm. Esther had an interesting experience as this last weekend they participated in a large conference in Las Vegas that Hay House was producing. And it's the first time that Jerry and Esther have done anything outside of the small gatherings that they've been doing on their own. And both of them had some reluctance about it because it was something that was unknown. It was different from what they're doing. And they had very little measure of control over the people who were coming, the setting up of the rooms, even the organizing of the sound systems. In other words, it was all being handled by someone outside of them. And so as the venue began to unfold, both of them began to see the positive aspects of it. And the reception of a large number of people to what they were hearing from Abraham was great fun for Jerry and Esther. And as they heard different keynote speakers singing the praises of Abraham, and different people in the audience began responding, Jerry and Esther began rethinking the scenario a little bit, because Esther had said, this is probably the only one we're going to do, or maybe another one that we've committed to, but it's sort of a lot of work and a lot of trouble, and I'm not sure I want to do it anyway. But as it began to unfold, Esther could feel that her experience in that exposure caused a clarifying of some desires that were not within her before. She actually felt the birthing of the desire happening right before her eyes. And then she said to Jerry, uh-oh, because she now knew, because she's been hearing us and she's been experiencing it from her own experience, you cannot take back a desire that has been born out of your experience. In other words, once a desire is launched, you have no choice but to get up to speed with it. So it's an interesting thing, this relationship with money, or this relationship with any desires. Once the desire has been born, you must come into alignment with it, because you can't take it back. Your experience birthed it. You've got to get up to speed with it. Okay. And so Esther said, I can see how people begin to see the world differently. The more exposure they have to the world, the more expansive their thoughts are. The more expansive their thoughts are, the more expansive they become. In other words, you just cannot hold yourself in one place. So there are endless frequencies relative to every subject. But the only frequencies that are of interest or importance to you are the vibrational relationships between the frequencies of your hatched desires and your in-the-moment offering. You can't even factor in or understand anybody else's frequency. Okay. Not understanding about law of attraction is the reason that many people weigh the pros and the cons and the pluses and the minuses, and when they conclude what they want, often they talk more about not wanting something else than they do about what it is that they do want. It's just a sort of misunderstanding, and it's easy to understand how it would happen, isn't it? I want this, I don't want this. I want this, I don't want this. I don't want this. How about you? I don't want this either. Well, a lot of us don't want this, and the reason we don't want this is because it's awful in this way and this way and this way and this way. I'll bet there are a lot of people who don't want this, you say. Let's get together in groups of people who don't want this. And let's talk about how it is that we don't want this. And let's see if we can get the government to understand we don't want this. And see if we can get something in place so that this thing that we do not want, we've got signs that say we don't want this. And there were things from our history we didn't want either. We've got monuments that point to those things that we did not want. And there are people, historians especially, who will tell you that if you do not explore your history and really determine the things that you do not want, you will be sure to repeat it. And we say, actually, the opposite of that is true. The more attention you give to things in your historical past or even in your present that you do not want, the more you activate them in your now, and the more they become a part of your now experience, because law of attraction says that which is likened to itself is drawn. So when you set your radio tuner on 6:30 a.m., the frequency that is being broadcast at 6:30 a.m. is received by you. The signals match, and you have the experience of 6:30 a.m. But if you set your radio dial on 6:30 a.m., and what you want to hear is 98 FM, you do not have a satisfying experience because your tuner is set to a different vibrational frequency than the transmitter. So we like to bring that up because we notice that as many of you are exploring the contrast of your time-space reality, you very often get fixated on the things that you do not want, and in that process what you do want becomes ever so much more clear to you. Have you noticed that you always know more clearly what you want when you're living something you don't want? When you don't have enough money, you get so clear about the value of more money. And when you are not feeling good, health and a good feeling body is so much more important to you. So that contrast always causes a focusing, whether you know that it's happening or not, of desire, a launching of a vibrational rocket. So as you are running around in your physical bodies, you are really more vibrational than you are anything else. You're really good at translating vibration, so good at it that most of you don't realize that you are vibrational translators, but you are. So as you're moving around through the contrast of your experience, living some things wanted and some things not wanted, you are focusing desires. You're launching rockets literally out there into your vibrational future. Every time someone is unkind to you, you launch a rocket that you'd like to be treated better. Whenever you're bound up in traffic, you launch a rocket that you would like traffic to flow better and the roads to be better. Anytime you have any experience, no matter how broad or narrow your exposure to experience, you are launching rockets of desire. And every time you do that, whether you are able to speak it in words or not, those preferences are heard and understood by source energy and answered. You knew that it would be that way when you decided to come into this body. You knew that you would launch rockets of desire. You knew that your environment would cause you to achieve personal preferences. And as we talk about this to you, usually you do not rise to the feeling of that in the way that we feel it. We just think it is so wonderful that you have all of this variety that causes you to personally identify preferences, because we understand what that means. We understand the value of you being here on the leading edge, having your unique experience. Unique experience. Here we are all here together, having an experience that is absolutely unique unto the universe. The universe is going to expand in a way that it would not expand otherwise if we were not together collaborating with thoughts, ideas, desires, beliefs, expectations. In other words, this is leading edge creation. And from your non-physical point of view, you are so exhilarated about this expansion, not because the universe needs to expand. It's not lacking expansion, but because riding the wave of expansion is so exhilarating. To be in this time and in this place with this variety, inspiring new desires, and to have Source answering each and every desire, and then to be so in vibrational alignment with what you're asking for that you get to feel the exhilaration of the energy pouring through your focus. And then you get to watch circumstances and events coming into alignment, all there to accommodate you. Your worthiness is not in question, not to us anyway. Your value is not in question, certainly not to us. And this gathering is about helping you to remember who you are, to help you reconnect vibrationally to the source that is you, to help you begin to appreciate your environment, no matter how it is affecting you right now, to help you to begin to make peace with where you are, because it's the platform from which all things will spring forth, to get you to embrace the idea of deliberate creation and deliberately focusing, and to introduce you in a conscious way to the guidance system that is within you, so that you can make sense of the relationship between where you are and where you want to be on every subject. So the big question that we hear from so many people is, how can I have been offering a vibration and not knowing I was doing it? Because nobody's been talking to me about my vibration. They've been telling me what I need to do to make them happy. They've been trying to get me to control conditions so that I fit into some niche that they think is appropriate. And there are endless people with endless ideas about how I should think and what I should do. But I did not know about vibration. And so I've been thinking about lots of things. I've been sloppy with my thoughts. I've activated all kinds of things, some that I want and some that I don't want, but I don't have control of my vibration. And now look what's manifested. And you're wise when you begin to understand that what you're thinking and feeling and what's manifesting are always a match. Always. Nobody ever lives something that is apart from what they are offering vibrationally. That's why we and so many others are telling you, you create your own reality. Seth said it first. Jane Roberts translated Seth's vibration. You create your own reality. Nobody creates your reality but you. And the reason you create your own reality is because you look around, you focus on things, you activate vibrations which equal your point of attraction, and law of attraction matches it. So if you ever want to know how you're vibrating or what your point of attraction is, just look at your life. It matches it exactly. And if you want something to be different, you have to offer a different vibration. So that's what we're going to talk about all day here today. We're going to offer you as many techniques as you are willing to listen to help you understand that you can offer a vibration if you decide to. But the most important thing that you have to come around to really fast is, if you're going to be the deliberate creator of your own experience and therefore in control of your own vibration, you have to decide that nothing is more important than that you feel good and that you will be aware of how you feel. And it sort of goes hand in hand. You have to decide that what other people think about what you're doing has to be less important than how you feel. Because you can't listen to all those other people and have a clear, quantifiable journey about which way to go. Just think about how it goes when something is not the way you want it to be, and 4 or 5 or even 1 or 2 people who are important to you give you their idea about what you should do, and no 2 of them have the same idea. And the more people you listen to, the more confused you get.